Hello YouTube, Gaming Goddess here with a review on Star Ocean Integrity and Faithlessness, a Japanese role-playing game developed by TriAce for the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. Integrity and Faithlessness is the fifth game to the main Star Ocean storyline and takes place between the second story and till the end of time. But it is also the ninth game in the franchise. With that little history out of the way, let's get into the review. First, let's take a look at the general gameplay. Now, there is a lot to cover in this part of the review, but I will try my best to get through it as quickly as possible without forgetting anything too major. When starting a new game for the first time, the player is given two levels of difficulty to choose from, Earth and Galaxy. This is basically your normal and easy modes in the game. Once the player has completed the game once, Universe and Chaos mode will then become available to the player. So if you really want a challenge, the options are there. Now, this game isn't entirely linear, and it actually gives the player some room to explore, though the player will often come across certain areas that cannot be accessed until certain events happen. Of course, when exploring a town, the player is also able to access a variety of shops, as well as the inn. When on the field, the player is able to harvest, mine, and fish. These skills are not automatically there, but as the player progresses through the game, they will become available and can be leveled up by using SP. Aside from that, this game also features some of the classic Star Ocean game mechanics, such as item creation, as well as a few other cool features. By completing a task for Welsh, all of these specialty skills will become available to the player. Now let's take a look at the battle system, which is pretty similar to previous Star Ocean games. The player can have up to a total of 7 playable party members in a battle at a time, where the player takes control of one of the characters and can freely switch between any of the given party members. As the player is exploring the field, monsters are visible to the player, and the transitions between field and battle is seamless and super smooth. I actually enjoy this new feature in the game. Each character has his and her own set of skills that they can use during a battle. On the right hand side of the screen, there is a reverse gauge that will fill as the player attacks, use skills, counterattack, defend, and use items. As the gauge fills, and depending on the character that the player is currently using in that battle, the character will be able to perform a special kind of attack. I like to call it a rush attack. Once the battle is finished, the player is then rewarded with experience points, money, SP, and items. That concludes the general gameplay. Now let's take a look at the graphics and audio that this game has to offer. Like I mentioned previously, the transition between running around on the field and entering a battle is super smooth and is seamless. A lot of the in-game cutscenes also transition very well, and the player can interact with some of these cutscenes in real time, meaning that the player can move around in the given area, and the characters will also look in the direction of any character that is talking. I personally think this is a really cool feature. Of course, these aren't the only types of cutscenes that the player will see in the game. There are plenty of normal CG cinematic cutscenes as well. I like how amazing the scenery looks, and I really love the overall art style that this game has to offer. As for the game's audio, we are given a pretty cool soundtrack. Different locations and different events have its own set of music. Battle music, on the other hand, is the same. Now, the battle music can be changed to the Valkyrie Profiles music if you have the special one-day version of the game. This game also offers both English and Japanese voice acting. In my honest opinion, the English voice acting in Integrity and Faithlessness is so much better than the English voice acting in The Last Hope.
Can you be so kind as to show me the way? I don't want to break this again.
So with that being said, let's now take a look at the pros and cons based on my opinion. First, some pros would include a good story, good CG graphics, good character design, as well as good character development, amazing scenery, seamless transitions, and good general gameplay. As for the cons, I feel the game's story is a little short, There aren't a lot of places to explore, there isn't a lot of space involved, and the battle music doesn't change. Overall, Star Ocean Integrity and Faithlessness was a pretty good game. Yes, the story was a little short, but it's still enjoyable. Now, I've had mixed feelings about previous Star Ocean games in the past, but I really did enjoy this one the most out of the 3 in the series that I have currently played. I also appreciate the fact that most of the playable characters are a lot older than in some of the previous games. This game offers a lot of cool interactive cutscenes as well as the standard cinematic cutscenes, and all of the transitions are really smooth. There are tons of side quests as well as side dungeons that can be explored throughout the game. With the game's private action feature, the player is able to listen in and be a part of different conversations with each of the party members. This is a really cool feature because, like in previous Star Ocean games, the player can see special character endings. With that being said, I personally spent about 30 hours on this game, and I would definitely play it again just so I can see all of the endings available in the game. Star Ocean Integrity and Faithlessness gets an overall rating of 8 out of 10. I know there isn't a lot of space travel or a lot of areas to explore, but I still enjoyed it. If you like this review, feel free to leave a thumbs up. Also, leave me some comments with your opinions, questions, or concerns. I love reading what everyone has to say. Also, for more awesome reviews on all the newest video games, support me on Patreon. The link will be in the description below. This has been a Gaming Goddess review, and remember to keep on gaming.